Hello students, I hope you're doing great. Recently, Ministry of Education came up with its report on higher education, which is known as AISHE. As you know, Ministry of Education, which was earlier known as Ministry of HRD, works through two of its departments. One is Department of School Education and Literacy, and another one is Department of Higher Education. So this Department of Higher Education publishes this report of AISHE, which is known as All India Survey on Higher Education. Whereas the Department of School Education and Literacy comes up with UDISE Plus report. On that we will talk in some other videos. Here we are to discuss what are the findings of AISHE report. As it is about higher education, so what is the scenario in higher education in India is what this report talks about, and it has jointly published the reports of 2023 and 2024. Both the reports are there in this. So what are the highlights? And first we should understand what this report is all about. So see, as I mentioned, All India Survey on Higher Education. It is an annual web-based survey. What is the meaning of it? If you'll Google, you will find the website of AISHE. There you will find n number of universities and institutions being registered, and they update the data related to the enrollment of students, examination, faculties, infrastructure, etc. Everything is uploaded. Basis that data, AISHE is published. Ministry of Education through its Department of Higher Education publishes this data. So conducted by Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education since 2010-11. Whereas the another report that I talked about, UDISE Plus, that has been going on through 2012-13. Okay? So this is the official source of statistics on higher education in India, which I was saying, what is the scenario of higher education in India? It collects data from university, colleges, and standalone institutions like IITs, IIMs, etc. So it does not go to these institutions. Rather, these institutions get registered at AISHE website, and they provide all the databases that they come to the conclusion. So they focus on student enrollment, faculty and staff, infrastructure, examination results, and finance and other institutional indicators they focus on. Now, the point arises, what is the importance of this report? The importance of this report, if we'll talk about, it is considered as an important tool for policy formulation. When government will see this report, it will try to understand the lacking, where investment is required, where we have to work on, what kind of policy should be there in the higher education domain. That all things are decided because of this report. Then planning and monitoring of the higher education sector. Without these reports, it will be difficult. In somehow, if you look at it, it is in line with the National Education Policy 2020. That is one of the agenda of NEP 2020 to improve higher education in India. So it measures access, equity, and quality. Means how accessible are the higher educations. Equity means whether the marginalized section of the society is capable of achieving those things or not, is capable of getting higher education or not, and what is the quality of higher education in India. Is it in sync with or up to par with the international institutions outside there? And in this sense, it assists in planning, infrastructure, faculties, and funding of different higher education institutions. What has been the finding? When we talk about GER, gross enrollment ratio, what is it? When you talk about the population of students between the age group of 18 to 23, and all those students who are enrolled, that ratio is known as GER. So out of 100 students that are in the age group of 18 to 23, of them, how many are enrolling in higher education is known as GER. So this is a kind of decadal growth. When you look at the data that is from 14-15, it was 23.7, which has reached to 30%. So it is quite good a ratio. Means, what is the meaning of it? Now out of 100 students who are in the age group of 100 adults who are in the age group of 18 to 23, now 30 of them are getting enrolled in higher education. Now, interesting point here is that when we look at female, we will talk about it again. GER of female, it is 31.2 from 30.2 in 22-23. Two reports simultaneously get published. And when you go for the decadal growth, in 2014-15 it was only 22. So almost it is quite close to 9 to 10%. Means that's a quite good growth. Women are or female are leading in higher education scenario. So this is about gross enrollment ratio. Then when you look at the idea of equity, whether marginalized section are getting benefited in the higher education or not, they are getting enrolled in or not, then you will find this data which claims the scheduled caste have increased, means GR of scheduled caste have increased. You look here, this line represents the GR of SCs and this is for STs. So it is like 27.8. For a decadal growth, it is quite significant, almost 10. And for STs from 13.5, it is 22.8. It is quite good a growth, right? 13.5, quite good a growth. So these data is something that you have to have in your mind. You have to memorize these things. That's why I have put all these charts from Press Information Bureau, PIB के जो notification आई है, information है, from there I have taken all this data. So it's quite significant. Similarly, when you talk about female, gender parity index, you'll find the ratio of female GR to male GR is computed as the gender parity index. That index shows that it is 1.08. What is the meaning? I have put some of the data related to GR. What you have to do, you have to divide this 31.2 by 28.9 and you will get around 1.079 or something, which is this 1.08. What is the simplest possible meaning of it? Meaning is, if you see 100 students are getting enrolled, higher education, are male, then 108 female are getting enrolled. So if it is 1, if it is 1, ऊपर नीचे दोनों सेम होता, कट होके 1 हो जाता, मतलब जितनी फीमेल उतने मेल. But here the scenario is good. Women are getting enrolled more than boys. That is gender parity index. So in gender parity index, we are doing good. Means India is doing good in higher education. Then if you move forward, when you talk about enrollment, general enrollment, the enrollment in higher education has been continuously increasing. So if you see, it was 3.42 crores in numbers. Now it has moved to 4.50 crores. So it shows a kind of 31.5% increase since 2014-15. Then there was a commendable increase in female enrollment. In 2014-15, that picture is not here. It was 1.57 crores, which has gone up to 2.18 crores. That means 42.2% increase has taken place in female enrollment in higher education, which is quite good, quite significant. That is going to impact so many indices that are related to gender parity. This is again a very significant explanation, or data wise it is explaining how different changes are taking place. So if you look at the picture, total enrollment as a decadal growth, total enrollment in general has gone up to 31.5%. That is what is written, 31.5%. Then when you talk about female enrollment, it has gone by 42.2%. 42.2%. When you talk about total SC enrollment, it is 51.4%. Total SC increase is 51.4%. This is increment. Decadal growth or decadal change. When you talk about female among SCs, it is 66.9. SC female enrollment, the growth is 66.9%. The interesting fact here, when you compare women in SCs and women in STs, you will find here overall change among the ST population is of 75.6%, which is also quite significant. Among SCs it is 51.4, but among STs it is 75.6%, which is also good. And here, look at here. It is 101.8%. Means ST female enrollment more than doubled, increasing growth of 101%. So here in 2014-15 it was 7.47 lakh, which has gone up to 15.08 lakh, which is quite good a growth. When you talk about OBCs, here the growth is 60.2%. OBCs 1.13 crores to 1.8 crore, the growth is of 60.2%. And among female of OBCs, the growth is of 72%. So 52.36 lakh has went up to 90.05 lakh, which is around 72.0, means 72% increase. So you will find, when you look at this picture, you find interesting thing which is going on, that female enrollment is gradually increasing among the marginalized section. This is about marginalized section, SCs, STs, OBCs. And they, especially these, female plus these, they are, and especially these three groups are facing the problem of intersectionality. Means they are not only facing the problem of patriarchy, but also of the caste system, poverty, rural area, etc. So you can say this growth, this trend is good to tackle the problem of intersectionality faced by women. Then when we talk about a STEM enrollment, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, then you will find that there is increase, STEM enrollment increase from 91.5 lakh to 1.02 crores. So decadal growth is quite good. The share of women in STEM enrollment has increased from 38.4% to 44%. So everywhere women are performing good. Total faculty strength, means we talk about how many teachers are there over students. So for that we need more teachers. So total faculty strength reached 17.32 lakh, comprising 55.1% male and 44.9% female faculty. Here it may appear it is bad, but when you look here, female faculty strength increased from 5.69 lakh to 7.37 lakh, and further to 7.78 lakh, reflecting the growing representation of women in higher education as faculties. So overall, when you look at all these trends, you will find marginalized section is especially being benefited from the higher education sector in India, which is actually a positive trend as far as marginalized section is concerned among SCs, STs, OBCs and among female. So that is a very good trend as far as higher education is concerned in India. Thank you very much.